Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, throughout this month, we are blessed with the opportunity to read and recite the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And obviously, reciting the Quran, it should not just be for the sake of recitation and doing the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it should have a spiritual effect, and it should also have an effect on our very lives. Our intention is not just to recite the Quran, but to bring the Quran into our lives. With that being said, alhamdulillah, we know that the Quran has a very strong connection with the month of Ramadan. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly says in Surah Al-Baqarah, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The Quran, or the month of Ramadan in which the Quran was revealed. It is a means of guidance for all people. It's a clear guidance. وَالْفُرْقَانِ, and it's a criterion between right and wrong. In other words, in order for the Quran to be a part of our lives, because we're not just reciting it, but we want to live our lives in accordance to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we should continuously and every day make this dua: Oh Allah, allow me to live my life in accordance to your book. In accordance to the Quran, allow me to live my life, Ya Allah. This is the dua that you should be making every day. Oh Allah, allow me, give me the strength to live my life in accordance to the Quran and the teachings of your Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Quran is a furqan. What's al-furqan? Furqan is that thing that helps you decide between right and wrong. That means in order for Quran to be a part of your life, you need to make sure the Quran is guiding you in what is right and preventing you from what is wrong. When you want to make decisions in life, you will turn to the Quran. The Quran is going to guide me. The Quran is my means of hidayah and guidance. So if we have not brought the Quran in our lives, then how will it be a means of hidayah and guidance for us? Over and over, what does Allah tell us? Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Alif Lam Mim, this is a book, there is no doubt in it. And this book is a means of guidance for what? For whom? For who? هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, for al-muttaqeen. Allahumma ja'alna min al-muttaqeen. Oh Allah, make us amongst those people who have taqwa. So the Quran is supposed to be our difference maker. In the sense, the Quran tells us what's right and what's wrong. The Quran guides us in what's right and what's wrong. The Quran tells us this is right, the Quran tells us this is wrong. So when we want to do anything in our life, we want to make any decision, we need to know what was the Quran telling us. And who is teaching us the Quran? Who's explaining to us the Quran? The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet ﷺ was an example, was a tafsir, was an explanation of the Quran. So we need to turn to Allah, the Quran, and the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ in order to know what Allah wants from us. What is good for us, what is bad for us. Only the Quran can tell us that. Only the Quran can guide us to that. But this Quran will only be a means of hidayah and guidance for you if you use it, number one, as a means of hidayah and guidance. You want it to be your means of hidayah and guidance. And Allah says, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ, for those who have taqwa. Taqwa means to be conscious of Allah on a 24/7 basis. And that consciousness encourages you to do good, and it helps you prevent and refrain from evil. So, in other words, the Quran is telling us that when we want to do something, we need to be conscious, what would Allah want from me in this moment? What would Allah prefer from me in this moment? Use the month of Ramadan not just to recite the Quran, but to bring the Quran into your lives. That your 24/7, your daily basis, your life revolves around the Quran and the teachings of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the strength, the tawfiq, the divine ability to bring the Quran into our lives. May it be a means of guidance and hidayah. May it be our manual in the Quran, as Allah says in the Quran, وَقَالَ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ الَّذِي هَدَانَا لِهَذَا وَمَا كُنَّا لِنَهْتَدِيَ لَوْلَا أَنْ هَدَانَا اللَّهُ. All praise belongs to Allah who guided us, for if Allah did not guide us, then we would not be guided. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us understanding. Jazakum Allahu khairan. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.